Good evening and welcome to our international news roundup. Tonight, a divided U.S. court rules against Donald Trump's tariffs, Modi arrives in China for a major summit, Kim Jong-un honors families of Russian soldiers, and dramatic escalation in Yemen with the killing of a Houthi prime minister. Meanwhile, riots spread through Jakarta, Washington blocks Mahmoud Abbas from the UN, Russia strikes Zaporizhia, and 3 Scottish brothers break a world record at sea. Here are the stories making headlines around the world. We begin in Washington, where a deeply divided U.S. appeals court has ruled that most of former President Donald Trump's tariffs are illegal. However, the court allowed them to remain in place until October 14, as his administration prepares an urgent appeal to the Supreme Court. The ruling highlights growing tensions over America's trade policy, which continues to shape the global economic landscape. To Asia now, where Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has arrived in Tianjin, China, to a warm welcome marked by enthusiastic crowds and traditional performances. Modi's visit comes ahead of the 25th Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit, hosted by President Xi Jinping. Leaders from more than 20 nations will attend, with discussions centered on economic cooperation, regional security, and sustainable development. This marks the largest SCO meeting in history, underscoring China's ambitions to expand its regional influence. In North Korea, leader Kim Jong-un met with families of soldiers killed while fighting for Russia in Ukraine. Kim praised the fallen soldiers as heroes, promising their families what he called a beautiful life. The meeting highlights Pyongyang's deepening ties with Moscow as Russia seeks international allies in its ongoing war in Ukraine. Turning to the Middle East, where tensions have dramatically escalated in Yemen. An Israeli airstrike in Sana'a killed Houthi Prime Minister Ahmed al-Rayai, along with several of his ministers. The strike occurred during a government workshop and has been denounced by the Houthis as a traitorous attack. Israel confirmed the strike, describing it as a targeted operation against a military threat. Analysts warn this event could further destabilize the region, given the Houthis' support for Palestinian causes and their growing role in regional conflicts. In Indonesia, the streets of Jakarta have been engulfed in violence following the death of an online delivery driver struck by a police vehicle during a protest. What began as outrage over lawmakers' lavish allowances spiraled into full-scale riots. At least 10 cars were burned, and widespread destruction reported. The unrest has since spread to other major cities including Bandung, Surabaya, and Makassar. President Prabowo condemned the excessive use of force by police and called for a transparent investigation. 7 officers have been detained so far. Back in the diplomatic arena, the United States has said it will not allow Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas to travel to New York for next month's United Nations gathering. The decision comes as several U.S. allies prepare to officially recognize Palestine as a state. Washington's move is expected to heighten tensions ahead of the high-level UN session. Meanwhile, in Ukraine, a Russian missile strike on the city of Zaporizhia killed 1 person and left 24 injured, including 3 children. Local officials condemned the attack as yet another deliberate strike on civilians, underscoring the ongoing human toll of the conflict. And finally, a story of extraordinary endurance. 3 Scottish brothers have set a world record by rowing unsupported across the Pacific Ocean. Their journey lasted nearly 140 days, testing both physical and mental limits. Their feat is now being hailed as one of the most remarkable endurance challenges of the year. That concludes our roundup of international news. From Washington to Jakarta, and from Sana'a to the Pacific Ocean, these stories remind us of a world in constant motion, marked by conflict, diplomacy, tragedy, and human resilience. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more updates from around the globe.